All right, so I got a problem with a couple things. Mainly just want to talk about people's just pure stupidity, but mainly I'm just going to go through a couple tweets. And then the last thing I want to talk about is just kind of like a current event. It's kind of settled down, but I just want to talk about it a little bit. But here's the first thing. It's just a tweet. We're just going to start off kind of soft here. It's not very important. But anyway, the tweet says, I can't believe middle class college students hate seeing poor college students get more aid than them. LMAO. Well, I can tell you why. Middle class college students hate seeing poor college students get more aid than them because basically those middle class college students are putting their parents' earnings into the FAFSA form, and that basically makes them get no aid because they make enough money to put food on the table and give them a place to live and give them a decent life before college. So they don't give them any aid, even though it has nothing to do with the student. So like I'm in the same boat. I am going to be paying for all my school, yet my parents make a decent amount of money, so I don't get that much aid. So that's why everybody gets pissed off about it. It's not like anything other than that. It's just kind of unfair. It should go up based off the student's income, not the parent's income. But that's a whole different argument. But anyway, the next one is just so ridiculous. I don't even understand how someone thought this was okay to even tweet. But it says, unpopular opinion. White people love dogs so much because deep down they miss owning slaves. They love the owner and master dynamic, desperate for something to control. So I don't understand how you even think this is okay to tweet. Black people own dogs too, man. Like you're telling me that white people own dogs because they miss owning slaves. No one these days even owned slaves. It was in the 1800s that got abolished. No one even has anything to do with slaves that's alive today. There's no slaves still alive. There's no people who owned slaves still alive. So that's, that's just ridiculous. I mean, kind of the same reason why reparations are so stupid. But anyway, you can just kind of look at that and just look at it on its face and see how stupid that is. White people owning dogs because they miss owning slaves. Come on, man. That's ridiculous. But this next one, I don't even know what's worse. This next one or the one that we just read, but this one's pretty bad too. I'll put the picture up on a screen. The caption, the tweet itself is kind of irrelevant, but it's supposed to be feminist art, I guess. And I'll put it up on screen. I'm going to censor it because I don't want anybody's eyes to melt out of their head because it's just disgusting. I'll save you that. But basically you can see there in the middle, it's, the crazy feminist lady, and she's revealing herself to a bunch of what looks like, like 12 or 13-year-old boys. And, they don't really know what to do with themselves. Like the kid that's closest to her, I mean, you can just look at his face. He's not very happy about it. And then the kid there in the middle who's kind of looking at the camera, he's just laughing because he doesn't know what to think. And then in the box to the left, it's vagina sculptures. I don't even know how else to describe it. It's literal just vagina sculptures, and it's supposed to be considered beautiful art. I don't understand how anyone thinks that's art, but anyway, I mean, just think about this for a second. Take the crazy lady in the middle, switch it out with a dude, and then take the boys on the right and switch it out with a bunch of little girls. You know that everybody would be freaking out. I mean, there would be it would be all over the news. People would be talking about it. And that dude would be a registered sex offender, like, within the day. There's no way he wouldn't. But when a crazy feminist lady does it, it's supposed to be art and educating them and, not sexual harassment or anything like that. I mean, this is borderline child abuse, if you ask me. But, that's just me. So then the last one I want to talk about, this is kind of the current event thing. It's with Trump. And, with all the shootings that have gone on recently, Trump put out a statement. He basically, first of all, he blamed a little bit of it on mental illness, which, that's fine. There is a bit of a mental illness problem in the country, but, especially with the, younger people. But he blamed it on video games. And I don't know how you can look at this situation and blame it on video games, but either way, I'll just play the clip for you really quick, and then I'll talk about it after.
Second, we must stop the glorification of violence in our society. This includes the gruesome and grisly video games that are now commonplace. It is too easy today for troubled youth to surround themselves with a culture that celebrates violence.
All right, so that was the Trump clip. And I mean, as you could tell, he basically just comes out and just blames it on video games, which I think that's kind of ridiculous. There's no scientific evidence that points to video games to cause or at least be a factor in how these shootings happen. And I really don't think he believes this. Honestly, I don't think he believes what he just said. I think he just kind of had to say something. So he blamed it on video games. And when he said it, he said that we glorify violence in this country. We have a culture that glorifies violence. And I don't know how you can say that and then just blame video games, because there are movies that are way more violent, and it has real people in it, and real people getting killed and real people getting shot. It's not like an animated character or anything like that. So I don't understand how you can just blame video games. And then he also said that he said something about troubled youth, and how troubled youth has too easy of access to stuff like this. I don't know what you would classify as troubled youth. I mean, if you're 12 to 16 years old, you're probably pretty troubled because you don't really know what the hell's going on in your life. But I don't know how you would classify that, but I think I think that's a parent's issue. It's a family issue. If you don't want your kid playing these video games until they reach the age, the rated M rating where it's like, I think it's 17 and up or whatever, that's on the parents. If the parents want to let their 10-year-old play GTA, that's on the parents. Especially since there's no scientific evidence that shows that playing violent video games lead to violent behavior in real life. So it's just a parent's issue to me. It's a family issue. Like, personally, I'm not going to let my kids play, GTA and pick up strippers and shoot people on the streets when they're 10. I just don't think that's right. But that's just me. Personally, I didn't play those games because I was in the same boat with my parents, and I think that's totally understandable. But another thing, I just hate how this constantly brings up, it brings up the gun debate again. And, I don't know why we have to blame it on this and blame it on that. I don't know why we can't just call it as it is. The gun didn't load itself. The gun didn't shoot itself. Like, the gun didn't pull the trigger by itself. It didn't go off by accident. So I don't know why we can't just call it as it is and, say these people like messed up really bad and just let them get what they deserve. And the fact that people are using these tragedies to push their political agenda. I get it. You have to talk about it when it happens, and I don't think that you shouldn't talk about it. But at the same time, it's not really. And this is probably going to sound terrible, I don't really think it's a problem that can be fixed. People are looking for answers, and that's normal. But I think they're looking for answers that they're never going to get. And if you add more gun laws, gun control, you just, say we legislate it after this and, people can't buy guns anymore or whatever. People are going to still find a way to get them. I don't know if the Dayton or the El Paso shooter got them legally or illegally, or how they got them, if it was a private seller. I don't know. But either way, it's gonna happen. They're still gonna find a way to get them. And that's the main issue. You're not gonna, it's not gonna be stopped. And the fact of the matter is if you add guns to the situation, if someone was there who was had their concealed carry, the situation probably would have been resolved much quicker. Why do you think our law enforcement carry firearms? It's the same concept. So I just don't understand how people can be like, oh, well, I don't think we should, I think we should have more gun control. I mean, I think if you put a gun in the law-abiding citizens' hands, then, the good things will come from it. There's more defensive uses with firearms in America than there are mass shootings. And another thing, there's no set definition on the term mass shootings. So when you look up statistics for it, they're kind of all over the place because people just kind of define it however they want to define it. I think one of the more common ones is like 4 or more people, but I mean, there's no set definition, so it never really you never really get a straight statistic on it. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on the issue. But anyway, that's it for the video. If you liked it, drop a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.